So here's one of those classic comments where people decide to divulge too much information where clearly I didn't even ask for any information, nor do I ever know who this person is, right? So this person said that there is another assumption for division. There's always a Judas. I work with tons of black women as well, mentor. You think women are simpletons, but that is not the case. As you have seen examples, I have seen your blanketed comments is dangerous. Why not concentrate on the issues, which is white supremacy, and how we black men and black women work together to deal and overcome? It's 2022. Do better. Um, this is my thing. I've never, if I talk about rich people like millionaires and whatnot, I never see them come through and leave comments trying to explain to me that, yo, I'm a millionaire and I don't like the way that, you're taught. Why? Because they got money. They don't care. They're doing the things, they're focused on the things that they're supposed to be focused on. So you basically telling me, right, that you work with black women as well as mentor. Right? If that is the case, if your job is as important as you're saying that it is, that means that you should be pretty much inundated with a lot of work, which means that at no point in time should you actually have time to literally, right, leave a comment like this because you're focused on something that is way more important. And then on top of that, you're saying that my blanketed claims are dangerous, right? The funniest thing is that when I happen to actually do videos and I'm talking about black men in the exact same tone and I'm listing roughly the exact same things, right, that pertain to black men in order to get my point across, and I also throw myself directly, in there, guess what? I never see you up there. I never sit up there and see you leaving the same exact comment. So I need you to take off your super suit, sir. I need you to clearly take that off because I don't know who you think that you're talking to. I don't know whose platform that you think that you're rolling up on. But clearly you came to the right one at the right time. I'm just gonna let you know that because, like I said before, you coming at me as if I'm automatically trying to come at black women sideways. Like I said, I think it said you've been here for like 5 months, so within that time frame, you should have seen a multitude of videos that I put up there of black women doing what would be, in a sense, deemed or seemed as the impossible, right? But yet you're saying that all of this other nonsense. Like I said before, there's too many dudes out here that want to sit up there and start throwing up like a cape and a super suit, thinking that they actually doing something. Like I said, I don't know what you think that you're doing here. I don't. I really don't. Like, all of your stuff don't even make any type of sense at all. And you're telling me to sit up there and do better. You're giving me information that I didn't ask for, nor did anybody else ask for. Nobody asked what you do in your free time or what it is that your job is, who it is that you work with and mentor. Nobody asked you any of this. You decided to freely state this so that you can try to further add some more validity to your point, which it didn't add nothing. It didn't add nothing. Literally, didn't add nothing. Like I said, y'all need to sit up there. Y'all need to sit up there and get yourselves together. Like, realistically. Like I said, if you're gonna be trying to speak on this, then you need to sit up there and start speaking on the videos where I'm specifically making those videos pertaining to black men and what black men need to be doing in the community. But you won't, because just like the others, you will only come to certain videos that you feel that you have a leg to stand up on, right? Dude talking about a Judas. Man, y'all funny. Whew. Y'all funny. New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. And this is where I start having problems with a lot of comments, right? This person wrote those clips, aka Goody Brand Barrettes and ball balls, were not invented for black hair. It's not a black owned company. Black girls just wear them most often than other groups. Mom is making this an issue. This is the one thing I want to sit up here and say. Um, Sweet Father, everything that is in your home, everything that you ingest, everything that you put on, every single car that you just so happen to get in, every single Uber that you take, every single flight that you've ever got on, every single boat that you've used, the water that is running through your house, the gas that is running through your house, the electricity that is running through your house, none of that is black owned. None of that is black owned. So it's like I'm a little bit confused as an adult. Why are you sitting up here trying to like go through? We of course know that none of this stuff is black owned. Thank you, Captain Obvious. But for you to try to make that a point is completely ridiculous. Like I said before, little kids are just looking at stuff like, oh, I want to sit up there and wear these because I like the way that it looks. They're not thinking about, oh, it's not black owned. Is this black owned? They're not thinking about that. But here you come with a lot of this stuff that has no bearing on this. How about this? How about this, right? You said within your comment, you listed a problem, right? You said that these barrettes are not black owned, right? So why don't you take it upon yourself, just like you took it upon yourself to leave a comment under this video? Why don't you take it upon yourself to watch some YouTube videos, to buy some molds, and to learn how to make barrettes so that they are black owned? How about that? Oh, guess what? You're not going to do it because it'll be a lot easier for you just to leave a comment and to quote unquote spot some stuff, eagle eye, Captain Obvious, right? It's a lot easier for you to sit up there and do that versus putting yourself to task and actually creating a solution to a problem of which you spotted. This is what I be talking about. People got all the mouth in the world to sit up there and want to spot some stuff and talk about some stuff, but they themselves aren't ready to sit up there and take on the responsibility to basically create a solution to that problem. Craziness. All right, we got this person wrote that this is not an unusual request. My music teacher would not let us wear rings or nail polish, and he was a black teacher. Also had Mr. Williams. The 4 years I was in high school, taking granted the same rules did not apply to me in elementary school or middle school. I don't agree with her not playing the day, making the little one feel bad about her ponytails was unnecessary. I get what it is that you're saying, but that's playing like musical instruments is not a sport. So it's like it's a little bit loose in the example that you're getting. I got this for an example, right? I got two different ones. I ran track back in high school, right? And when you look at the Olympics, they're pretty much they got like a little, like chain on. Sometimes they might have like some other things. Like they'll have like some things on, right? And they're not going to, in a sense, get deducted points, right? But magically, when it comes to high school, they want to make all of these ridiculous rules for you to follow. And I'm like, oh, we got this point system, and this is how this is supposed to go. And if you have this on, if you got a wristband or a headband on, we, have the right to, deduct points. And right. So I had, I forgot what school it was, right? It was a white school, right? And I was a sprinter. And this guy, this obese coach for the track team, he was sitting up there telling me, he was like, hey, I'm really, not even supposed to do this, but I could really deduct points, because you're wearing a headband, you got, an earring in, and you got a wristband on. I could really, have points deducted, but I didn't want to be forced, to do that. You know, um in my mind, I'm like, deduct points because whoever you put in front of me is still going to get smoked. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm pretty sure that he regretted not deducting those points because even if he would have deducted those points, I still would have won. I still would have had my points. And whatever he had on his team would have still got smoked. I would have smoked their whole team. Just me racing against their whole team. I would have smoked all of them. All of them with no problem. So, like I said before, when people want to try to make things a issue when it's not really an issue, it's crazy to me, right? Somebody stated that, oh, it could be an issue because, it's a contact sport and, it could very easily, like hit her eye or something like that. Okay, that's granted. No problem with that. No problem with that one at all. I can completely, understand, that one, right? I had another incident, yet again, dealing with track. where in order for me, and this was not, it wasn't at regionals yet. This was like a few games before, a few races before, regional. Probably about, maybe, was it about like five? Probably like five or six before regional. And there was another instance where I showed up. I was on time. I'm always there. I'm the first one there when it comes to, track. As soon as like the school bell rings, I'm automatically sitting in, I think it should have been like D hallway, and I'm waiting for, the coach upstairs so we can start like our warm-ups and our workouts and whatnot. And that's what I do. Right. And after, like, during this one like race or whatever, the coach or somebody basically said, it's like, yo, you can't, be wearing like, like underwear, because I guess it's like it's showing, um it's longer than the shorts, boxer briefs or whatever. So I literally, before it was time for me to run, I literally had to sit up there and go to a whole secluded area, and to hurry up, take off my shorts, and to take off my underwear so I can basically run in these napkin thin shorts. These are like those shorts that you always see from like the 70s. I'm like, what are y'all really doing out here? I'm like, why is that even a thing? Like, I'm not trying to be like moving around, like when I'm running or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, I felt like that was highly like some suspectual type stuff. Because I'm like, who is really trying to sit up there and like see dudes like running out here where like everything is just like, moving around and flopping, when they're running. And then on top of that, because these shorts are like thin and they're paper thin, like I'm pretty sure at a point in time, like, something might have been showing. So that's a whole nother thing right there. Like I said, when I look back on some of this stuff, I'm noticing some problems. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like, oh man, some crazy stuff out here. But yeah, like I said, I get your example, but you're dealing with a contact sport versus music where everybody's sitting in the chair or sometimes standing up and they're playing their instruments, where they have, a teacher, basically a conductor, telling them what it is that they need to do. Because the funniest thing is, whenever I happen to see like a lot of these people that are very good with like a violin or a piano, guess what? They have their nails done and they're still jamming. It has nothing to do with anything. So, like I said, those are the preferences of that teacher, and that's that teacher, whoever basically putting students in that box, right? He feels that the best way to basically play the instrument or to appeal to whatnot, whatever, is that you can't have on any of this stuff. But I'm like, that's not taken away from the music. That has nothing to do with the music. I've literally seen people wear costumes, the most, ridiculous, crazy looking costumes, and they're playing the violin, and you're not even looking at the costume no more. Like maybe when they first came out, but you're listening really to the music. You're looking at how they're sitting up there playing. You're looking at the emotion that is both coming through both instruments, right? Because the human being is the instrument of emotion, right? And when you happen to play an instrument like a violin, a guitar, piano, whatever it is, that's the second instrument that is used to, um, have those emotions, right? Appeal, or in a sense, go to the crowd, right? Because as a person, you can only convey so much with your emotions, right? But when you have an instrument and you're in that emotional state, and then you use that instrument to convey that, that's like 1,000 times stronger, right? Anyways, whatever. But let's go to the next one. All right, so the next comment. Sure, the official should have approached the family more respectfully, but that aside, what's the problem? She's allowed to wear her hair. She just needs to abide by the rules made for everyone and take the hair accessories out. Not a big deal. See, this is my problem, right? Whenever people happen to want to justify rulings that are used on black people, I don't really think people do enough research in order to like really leave a comment. right? And the reason that I say that is because on both of these channels, I've showcased videos where, and other stories, where magically these rulings only get enforced when it deals with black kids. So they'll do things such as, oh, you can't have braids, right? You can't have locks, right? In order to, like, the one black kid that was a part of a wrestling competition, right? He had his locks the whole, like, they were roughly the same length the whole time, right? And supernaturally, this one ref who that he's played in front of before, he magically didn't have an issue, or however it went. And then magically, when it came to one of the most important, I guess, like, wrestling tournaments that they were having at their school, right, where they were defending the title, magically this ref was like, "Yo, you can't sit up there and wrestle with that hair, right? If you decide that you still want to have your hair like this, you're going to be disqualified, and that's going to be an L for your team." Right? So, in order for him to wrestle for his team, you know what had to happen? He had to cut his hair. Explain to me, show me another culture, show me another avenue in America where somebody else that is not black was forced to cut their hair in order to finish competing in something that they've been competing in. You're not. And that's my point. So, like I said, all these, people want to try to justify all of this nonsense, and they want to bring some sensibility to this BS. That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Like I said, there's a lot of black women out here who are in the workforce, and they're being told that you can't have your hair like that. It's unprofessional. What does that have to do with the job? What does that have to do with the job? Nothing. But like I said before, going by the comment that you basically left, if anybody tells black people, or especially black women, like, hey, your hair is not appropriate, then guess what? Black women need to sit up there and just do what it is, whatever they're telling you to do, just sit up there and do it. Don't cry about it, just do it. Right? Like I said, this is 100% crazy. I've covered too many stories about this and showcased that supernaturally, things like this only take place when they want to pin it directly to black people. That's the only time they want to use these rulings, these what's the names that they got from, like, the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 40s. Like that's where a lot of this stuff is from. That lets you know the time frame, right? So that means that this was during a time where everything, like, during those times, a lot of things were segregated, right? And the funniest thing is, even during those times, black people wasn't really wearing long hair like that, right? Guys, they weren't, doing braids or anything like that at all. The most, in certain time frames, you might have seen some guys, like, with, like, some finger waves or something. That might have been, like, the most that you would have more than likely seen, or maybe a fro or something like that. But like I said, with those rules that they have out there, they'll try to find an issue with a guy having a fro, right? Because I've done another story directly on that. They were like, "Oh, it can't, come over the earlobe, and, and different stuff like that." I'm like, we're dealing with school at the end of the day. Ain't nobody going to care. But like I said, this is just meant to make, black people feel uncomfortable, and that's meant to make black people conform to the way that they want black people to be, to act, to dress, and so on and so on and so on and so on. We've been doing this since the beginning, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of black people are tired of having to sit up there and do it. So, like I said before, I don't have time to try to sit up there and make it a sensible thing, or trying to bring some logic to, a situation where there's no need to even do that. Because like I said before, there's tons of times that I can sit up there and see a lot of other kids having long hair, and the hair is getting in their face or in their eyes. And guess what? Coaches or refs, they're not sitting up there saying nothing. But the moment in time that it just so happens to be somebody black, oh, we got to sit up there and do something. Matter of fact, let me just take it to a whole nother extent, even though this is outside of this realm, but still inside of this realm for the most part, right? Simone Biles, beautiful. beautiful woman, and she is highly talented. And I'm going to sit up there and say she is the most unbeatable and the most talented woman when it comes to gymnastics in the world, because can't nobody beat her. Countries have gone against her and they have fallen. They have lost because that is her God-given ability. Like I said before, when the universe gives you something, there is no way that you can sit up there and beat that. When you find what it is that you are supposed to do, you will become an unstoppable and an unbeatable force. And that is exactly what that young woman is, right? She was so unbeatable to the fact that she was doing things that people couldn't even do. And they were like, up, we can't allow you to do that. Up, we're going to have to deduct points. She is so great that the Olympics had to deduct points, that competitions had to deduct points from this woman. If you don't believe me, go sit up there and look up those stories. Go look up those stories. And for me, that goes to the same realm as dealing with hair, right? Because your hair is God given, right? Just like Simone Biles, her ability to do what it is, her gravity defying gymnastics, that is a God given ability, right? That wasn't something that somebody just gave to her. That is something that she is able to do. Even girls on her team cannot do the exact same things that she is doing. Like I said before, but I digress. So Joker decides to write this, right? Doesn't sound like discrimination, sounds like the rules for all to follow. Let's not forget Venus playing with her beads when the rubber bands popped, right? Next decided to write, my daughter's hair is a little over a foot long. When it's done, it hangs. If she plays a sport, she has to keep things off the tips or she smacks herself in the face. I get individuality, but I understand safety as well. Right. And this is why I love some of the people that's been here for a long time, because they get what it is that I'm saying. We got the brother Yankee Buffalo, right? He said, which is interesting to me because we see these rules that are applied to black people, but then I look at the team and I see non-black members having all types of beads and other accessories in their hair, and nothing is said about it at all, right? Which is a fact. Joker then comes back and replies, I'm not saying that the system is flawed. I'm just saying from a sports standpoint that the rules doesn't seem to be arbitrary. He like Buffalo, like this dude just Joker just ignored exactly what Buffalo was sitting up there saying. The brother just sat up there and told you like these are discriminatory rulings. That you can go and look at a lot of these other uh groups that play soccer and whatnot. And I've seen them. You got the little white girls having like their little barrettes and their long hair and whatnot, and it's hitting them in the face and all this other type of stuff. Ain't no ref saying nothing. But like I said before, when it ends up being somebody black, guess what? Now they want to apply all of these rules. They want to find a way to penalize, you know, black players who are playing this sport. Like I said before, you got so many people that I feel are not really educated enough to even have a conversation on this topic. Like I said, it's great. You got your daughter, she got long hair. But I also know, and I've seen people do this before, especially when it comes to black people. I've seen black women with naturally long hair that goes down to the middle of their back or their butt, and they'll get a hairstyle that basically turns all of that long hair into a short hairstyle. So nobody's going to tell me that it is impossible to have hairstyles that can basically stop hair from moving. I've seen it. I've seen it millions of times within my own community. I've seen it time and time again throughout middle school and throughout high school. So a girl can have hair that's a foot, 2 foot, 3 foot long, and they can still do a hairstyle that will stop the hair from moving and that will have it in a confined space. Like I said, this is why black people like braids, because it is controllable. You dictate, you control what the braids are going to sit up there and do. And that's a fact. So, like I said before, for people to try to find some type of way to justify all of this nonsense is completely ridiculous to me. It is 100% ridiculous to me. But like I said, to each their own. And then, you come back and say that, quote, I'm not saying that the system isn't flawed. Are you? Like you somebody just told you that the system is flawed, but you're like, I'm not saying that the system isn't. No, you didn't even go to the fact that the system is flawed. You just wanted to justify the rulings and the actions in order to say that, oh, just follow the rules. And that's what they tell black people all the time, just follow the rules. It's like, hey, black people, guess what? Everybody's not as fast as you when it comes to running. So we need you to run at the same pace as everybody else. Just follow the rules. Don't complain. Just follow the rules. Just follow the rules. Guess what, black people, when you play basketball and you do these high acrobatics, when you're dunking and you're crossing people over, everybody can't necessarily do the same, types of things like hand-eye coordination and, with speed. So we need you not to dunk. And if you dunk, you're going to get penalized. I'm pretty sure people don't remember that because there was a certain point in time where uh, black guys were just dunking on people, and they put a stop to that. They put a stop to that real quick. They wasn't going to have that. Oh no, you're not going to sit up there and be dunking on our white boys like that. No, 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 you're not doing that. We're going to put a stop to this. Like I said, go back and look at basketball originally and look at how white boys were sitting up here playing. You had the robotic layups that everybody was sitting up there doing. Hey, this is Jim and his team. Look at them do those gosh darn layups. Aren't they athletic? Don't they look great? That is very inspiring. Hey, it's even inspiring little Jimmy Bo, and he wants to do the same thing that the other guys are doing. Just look at him with a little tennis ball, right? But you can't have that same inspiration and people wanting to worship and look at them if they're, in a sense, getting dunked on, if they're getting posterized, right? Nobody's going to be sitting up there like, yeah, I want to be like this guy, right? Nah, nah. It's all types of tea bags out there. Nah, you ain't trying to, you're not trying to run through that. Nah, 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 nah. But like I said before, yet again, you got people trying to justify these rulings that are, being placed and that are being specifically put out, which is ridiculous. But as I stated, to each their own. But, like I said, it is what it is. No matter what takes place, whenever it specifically pertains to black people are going to be told to shut up and dribble. Black people are going to be told to shut up and stop complaining. Black people are going to be told to shut up and just keep playing. And I just want to make this known, right? This is a t-shirt league. This is not real, like real type of soccer or anything like this. This is not, what this is at all. It's just some type of community-based thing that is taking place. And for them to try to be the utmost serious on this, it literally makes no sense. They're taking themselves way more serious than it needs to be. Like, you're not a real league. Ain't nothing really happening here. Like I said before. So it's like, for me, it's like this whole thing is vastly ridiculous, like I said. But that was just responding to some of the comments out here. But let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.